The movie starts with a notice informing us about Larson City, a small town where brutal murders took place for 10 years. It was believed that a masked killer was behind them, but he was never caught. After a decade of terror, the murders suddenly stopped, and the killer disappeared. The town finally found peace, but people still feared his return, sharing eerie tales about the pale-faced killer. We are then taken to the town, where Halloween is being celebrated. Inside a hotel room, a young woman is held captive by the pale-faced killer, who brutally stabs her to death. The next day, a woman named Carly arrives in town and heads to the hotel. At the reception, she calls out but gets no response. She notices someone's feet in a room watching TV. Suddenly, the manager, Bryce, appears wearing a scary mask, startling her. Laughing, he explains it's just a Halloween prank. When Bryce asks why she's here, Carly requests a room with a front view of the road. He hands her the key after taking payment. Outside, Carly opens her car trunk, revealing a hidden man, her ex-husband, Gabriel. She sneaks him into the room and demands to know what trouble he's in now. Gabriel confesses that he committed a serious crime and has been on the run ever since. With no one else to turn to, he begged Carly for help. She warns him that if he keeps running, he'll never see their son again. Gabriel insists he loves their son and just wants to give him a better life. It's revealed that Carly and Gabriel are divorced, and they lost custody of their son because they were financially unstable. Gabriel's crime forced him into hiding. Regretful, he apologizes for treating Carly badly in the past. Though she still has feelings for him, she pushes him away, refusing to let him back into her life. She hands him a bag with essentials and asks him to finally tell her what he did. Gabriel explains that he worked at a store where his young manager constantly scolded him. Frustrated with his low pay, he snapped one day and made a terrible decision, one that forced him to flee. Angry, he rants about his situation, making Carly uncomfortable. She leaves and drives off, while the hotel receptionist watches her go. Alone, Gabriel tries calling his friend Andre but realizes there's no signal. He goes to the bathroom, where he finally gets reception, and begs Andre to get him out of town. Tired of running from the police, he wants to escape the country. Andre agrees and asks for his location. Relieved, Gabriel quickly sends it. That night, Gabriel is awakened by a woman's voice. Looking out the window, he sees a girl in the neighboring room. He realizes he can hear everything happening inside. His mind drifts back to his store job, where customers often complained about his poor service. One day, he saw his manager holding a large sum of cash and decided to rob him. As guilt washes over him, he suddenly hears the girl next door screaming in terror, as if someone is attacking her. He presses his ear to the wall and listens closely. Panic sets in. There might be a killer in that room. But Gabriel knows he can't step outside because if anyone finds out Carly is hiding him, it could cost them everything. The next morning, 2 cops arrive in town, investigating Gabriel's case. They're trying to track him down and visit the place where he used to work. There, they question a girl who tells them that Gabriel was hired for a job but ran away with money after a few days. She also reveals that when he was trying to escape, his manager tried to stop him, but Gabriel ran him over with his car, killing him. That's why he's been hiding, and the police are after him. Meanwhile, Gabriel wakes up and imagines seeing his dead manager haunting him. He screams in fear but quickly realizes it was just his imagination. Just then, he gets a call from Carly, who's standing outside his door. When she enters, Gabriel explains what happened last night, saying his neighbor heard screams as if someone was being brutally attacked. Carly dismisses it, calling it his imagination, but Gabriel insists something happened. She had brought him a mask to cover his face, but he refuses, saying he needs to find out the truth. Carly decides to investigate and knocks on the neighbor's door, asking if something happened last night. The woman calmly says that nothing unusual occurred and that she is perfectly fine. Gabriel, overhearing the conversation, realizes that the voice of this woman is different from the one who was screaming last night. Carly, unconvinced, leaves without further discussion, making Gabriel feel terrible. He's upset that his ex-wife doesn't believe him. Later, Carly reflects on Gabriel's words and starts doubting him. Deciding to cut ties with him, she throws away the key to his hotel room. That night, Gabriel watches the news and learns that the police are still searching for him. Suddenly, he hears noises outside. Following the sound, he realizes someone has entered the neighboring room. As he tries to listen through the wall, his foot gets tangled in a wire, knocking over a lamp. The noise alerts Bryce, the receptionist. Just then, Carly calls Gabriel to apologize for her behavior, saying she should have spoken to him properly. Gabriel tells her that he still hears strange noises. As they talk in the bathroom, where he gets better reception, his landline suddenly rings. It's Bryce calling from reception. Gabriel tells Carly he'll put the phone on speaker so Bryce thinks he's still in the room. When Bryce asks what happened, Carly covers for Gabriel, saying the lamp broke accidentally. Bryce asks if she's safe, and she assures him she's fine. Bryce then brings a replacement lamp to Gabriel's room. Panicking, Gabriel tries to stop him from entering, but Bryce has a key and starts unlocking the door. Gabriel quickly blocks it, lying that his girlfriend is inside taking a shower. Bryce becomes suspicious but insists on coming in. At that moment, Gabriel receives a call from Andre, who has arrived to pick him up. In a hurry, he opens the door slightly, allowing Bryce to see his face. Gabriel angrily tells him to leave and slams the door shut. When he answers Andre's call, he realizes the line has already disconnected due to a network issue. Outside, Bryce notices Andre waiting in his car. Andre gets frustrated when Gabriel doesn't answer and drives away. Meanwhile, the cops continue their search for Gabriel and discover that he has an ex-wife named Carly, who has a criminal record. Believing she might know Gabriel's whereabouts, they decide to question her. That night, while Carly is sleeping, she hears noises outside. Checking downstairs, she finds no one. Then, someone knocks on the door, claiming to be a cop. But when she opens it, no one is there. Startled, she locks the door but forgets to secure the back entrance. Moments later, she sees a pale-faced killer staring at her through the window, sending chills down her spine. Suddenly, he cuts the power, plunging the house into darkness before sneaking inside through the back. Carly grabs a baseball bat for protection, but the killer attacks her from behind. She tries to escape, but he chases her. It turns out the pale-faced killer has returned to town and is after Carly. He finally catches her and pauses when he sees a photo of Carly's mother. He then shows Carly a locket, implying that he was the one who killed her mother too. Shocked, Carly attempts to fight back, but the killer brutally stabs her, ending her life. The next morning, the police arrive at Carly's house to question her. They ring the doorbell, but no one answers. As they start investigating the surroundings, they find bloodstains inside the house, confirming that something terrible has happened. They enter and search the place but only find blood, there's no body. This shocks them, and they suspect that Gabriel might have killed his wife and taken her body elsewhere. Meanwhile, Gabriel has been awake all night, waiting for Andre's call, as Andre had left angrily the night before. When Andre finally calls, Gabriel apologizes and asks for another chance, promising to come this time. Andre agrees but instructs Gabriel to keep his phone close and answer immediately when he calls. Gabriel, relieved, starts getting dressed and packing his belongings. But just then, the pale-faced killer appears behind him and attacks, knocking him unconscious. When Gabriel wakes up, he finds himself tied up and confused about who did this to him. He then sees Bryce cleaning the bathroom and realizes he is behind everything. Gabriel secretly takes out his phone and tries calling his wife, but her phone vibrates right next to him. Looking over, he sees Carly's lifeless body. Terrified, he freezes. The sound of the vibrating phone alerts Bryce, who comes closer. Gabriel pretends to be unconscious while Bryce drags Carly's body toward a hidden underground passage and dumps it inside. Just then, Gabriel's phone vibrates again. It's Andre calling. As Gabriel tries to answer, Bryce notices and snatches the phone, smashing it to pieces. Gabriel is shocked, realizing he has no way to escape. Bryce then pulls out a knife and tells Gabriel that he has been killing people for years and will now kill him too. As he lunges, Gabriel blocks him with his leg and pushes him back. When Bryce charges at him again, he slips on plastic and accidentally drives the knife into his own chest, killing him instantly. Gabriel is relieved to have survived and quickly frees himself. He rushes outside, spotting Andre waiting in the car, but ignores him and heads straight to the reception. Feeling hurt, Andre drives away. Gabriel then calls the police and informs them of the situation before returning to his room to clean the blood off himself. But then, he senses someone else in the room. He calls out, asking them to come forward, and an old woman appears. It's Bryce's wife. She had been helping him commit the murders all along. Gabriel demands to know why Carly had to die. The woman explains that one night, after they killed another girl, Carly overheard noises and became suspicious. Fearing she would report them to the police, they decided to eliminate her too. Meanwhile, the police arrive at the scene and wait outside the room, ready to capture Gabriel. Inside, the old woman explains to Gabriel that they have been doing this for years and that she is not alone. Her son is also involved. Suddenly, the pale-faced killer appears behind her. He is her son. Without hesitation, he slits Gabriel's throat, killing him instantly. The killer then removes his mask, revealing his terrifying face. They take Gabriel's body underground, so when the police enter the room, they find nothing. Later, at the reception, the police question the old woman, but she claims Gabriel had checked in a few days ago and she has no idea where he suddenly disappeared. Once the police leave, she tells her son that they need to escape immediately, as the police will now keep an eye on them, and they could get caught. The next morning, the officers discuss the case over breakfast at a restaurant, struggling to understand how Gabriel could have vanished so quickly. They suspect something is off and wonder if the pale-faced killer is behind it. Just then, a waitress overhears them and asks if the killer has returned. The officers respond that there's no confirmation of that yet. We then learn the shocking truth: the real pale-faced killer was Bryce. In his younger days, he committed numerous murders with the help of his wife. He would kill his victims in front of their son, teaching him how to take lives from a very young age. In a flashback, we see his son killing one of their victims and keeping her locket as a trophy. That locket belonged to none other than Carly's mother, meaning his first victim was Carly's mom. He brutally stabbed her to death. In the post-credit scene, the pale-faced killer's mother arrives at Andre's house and tells him her car broke down, asking if she can use his phone. Andre invites her inside, unaware of the danger. Meanwhile, the pale-faced killer waits in the car, ready to strike as soon as his mother gives the signal. And with that, the movie ends.